welcome to this week's episode of Knights Talk. I'm your host, Rob Leonard. The Knights of Meaford had two games this past week. Thursday night at home to the West Nipissing Lynx. We've got all the goals from that one. Let's have a look. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rogers Sports Exclusive. As still knotted at 0. Shot right on, shot, and there's the first goal of the game. Mine for that one. Prue working around Meaford, playing the perfect triangle right in front and scores. Goalkeeper's best friend. Here's Walsh. Score! Yes! Nico Walsh.
Did one goal under our belt. Watch what happens.
And you're right. And a shorthanded goal can really change.
Oh!
Scores!
I'm not going to take that comment back, but
giving him far
here
too
we
much
go.
time.
Here we go.
Now here we go. Tyler Struts on the breakaway.
Oh!
Shot.
Oh!
Yes! Scores! Donovan Rich is looking for his head. Langowski got, and that is in the net. Here's Wall. Hampus Wall fires. Oh, that just trickled wide. Another shot and scores. Hampus Wall are pressuring and pressuring hard to get that equalizer. Comes in front.
Yes!
Scores! What a beautiful goal. That was a one-handed effort. There's Eric Lowry. He's being held up. Callum Queenan. He's going to fire. Score!
Yes!
Callum Queenan. And there's the buzzer.
She's over.
The game is over. And as you can see, the Knights of Meaford prevail in this one by a score of 5-4. I guess the second game that we've done on Rogers, and it was a heck of a lot more exciting than the first one we had. But the Knights would come out on top with a 5-4 victory. The first period of this game ended no score. Nobody was able to put a puck behind either goalkeeper, both goalkeepers playing well. But the teams seemed to be really evenly matched in that first period. Second period, Meaford ran into some penalty troubles, and it cost them dearly. They were trailing 4-2 at the end of the second period. Then they would go on to score 3 unanswered goals in the third period. I don't know what the coaches said to them in the second intermission, but it certainly was enough to inspire the Knights to... They owned that third period. They absolutely owned it, stayed out of the box. Actually, the game-winning goal was scored by Callum Queenan. He had taken a penalty, killed off the penalty. About a minute after that, he scored the game-winning goal for the Knights. So in this one, 5 different goal scorers: Nico Walsh, Tyler Struts, Julian Delp, Hampus Wall, and Callum Queenan with the winner. Graham Gemmell was in goal for this one. He got first star honors, 35 saves, currently sits 5th in goals against average in the league. So Graham having a great start, as are the Knights to this season. So the next game was a rare Saturday night home game for the Knights. They were up against the expansion Fergus Force, and Fergus wasn't much of a force in this one. Actually, Fergus isn't as bad as the 11-2 score sounds. They played with Meaford, I think, for a good period and a half. An expansion team, I think they've won one game, but that was by default. But they're definitely getting better as the season goes on. So, and in this game, Meaford, 11 goals, 10 different scores. Another indication of the depth of this Knights team. Anybody can score on any given night. So as I said, 10 different scorers in that game. So let's take a look now at the league standings. Bradford Rattlers sitting on top. We've got a 3-way tie for first with Bradford, New Tecumseth, and Almaguin, all with 20 points up top. And the Knights, if you take a look, they're sitting in 5th right now with a record of 7-2-1. They've actually got the least amount of losses in the league, and looks like they've played, I think they've played the least amount of games at this point. So, but that's going to change this coming week. Knights sitting with 15 points. those 3-4 teams sitting ahead of Meaford in the standings have been beating each other over the past couple of weeks. So really setting up nicely for the Knights to advance into that top, into maybe possibly the top 3 positions. So now if we can take a look at the Knights leading scorers. You see Tyler Strutt still sitting on top. 9 games, he's got 27 points. Alexander Nazkov sitting there with 23. Eric Lowry, 15 assists on the season with 17. Callum Queenan looking to better his numbers from last year. He's well on pace for that. I think he had 10 goals and 13 assists last year, so well on his way. A couple of defensemen in there with David Hooper, Connor Long, Colton Langowski. And yeah, so again, you take a look at it. You've got Struts and Nazkov sitting at the top with 15 goals apiece, but a lot of players, even not listed in the top 10, contributing to the Knights of Meaford. So if we could now take a look at the league's leading scorers. St. George still dominating. They've had 5 guys in that top 10 since the beginning of the season, and they continue to do so. Kingsville in there and then you look at London. London's having a really tough year, but they have a representative in there at number 6. He's got 42 points on the season. You look at number 10, Vladislav Grzenkjev of Tottenham. That guy is a pure goal scorer. I don't see him sitting in 10th for very long. That guy is going to be pushing Chris Hay for the scoring lead as the season goes on. Now, if we can take a look at the upcoming games for the Meaford Knights. Now, this is going to be a really tough week for the Knights. Thursday night, next home game, you can see that game on Rogers. The taped edition of it will be available Friday at 5 o'clock, but the Knights will play the Seguin Huskies. Then, as you can see, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 games in 3.5 days. They start off against Seguin, they finish off in Seguin, and in between those 2, they've got South Muskoka and West Nipissing. That's going to be a tough go for the Knights over those 4 games. Honestly, if they can come out of that with 4 out of the 8 points, I would consider that I would consider that a successful road trip. And as you can see, you can check out, they've got the Bradford Rattlers. They've got a tough schedule coming up with the Rattlers a couple of times, but they get Fergus a couple more times as well. So the Knights currently 7-2-1, as I said, in the league. Best start in team history. And, you know, things are looking good right now, but as I said, they've got that 4-game stretch in 3.5 days. That's tough on anybody. So now it's time for Meet the Knights, and this year we're not pre-taping the players. As you know, we're having the players come into the studio. And the province of Quebec, very well represented here on the show this week. Closest to me, Brandon Farrell. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. And goalkeeper Julien Wilson. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, great to have you here, guys. So let's start with you, Brandon. You got respect. You 2 are the youngest, 2 of the younger players on the team. Brandon, you're 17. Julien, you're 16.
I turned 17 a few weeks ago.
Oh, you just turned 17.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
And I turned 18 last week. So.
Oh, did you? So
yeah.
you both had birthdays, 18 and 17. You're still 2 of the younger players on the team.
Yeah.
So, all right, Brandon, you got instant respect coming into the league with the power rankings. You were in the power rankings the first week, and you're still in there sitting at number 28. So how did that make you feel? Does that matter to you, or?
I mean, I don't think about this because, like, I just want to play my game, continue to work hard, and, like, my goal, like, is to, at the end of the year, win the Russell Cup with the team. I think we have all the players to do this, and that's my goal.
Fantastic. All right. So, as I said, you come from Quebec. Is this your first time in junior hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I was playing high school hockey, like prep school.
Okay.
Yeah, in my town. So yeah, it's my first year junior.
So you're basically starting as a 17-year-old, just turned 18. But the GMHL has a lot of overage players, 20, 21-year-olds. How do you find that? Do you find it tougher playing against the older guys? 4 years can make a big difference.
I like it. I think it's good for me. It's good for my development, and yeah, I always like to play against like older guy than me. Yeah.
Makes it, yeah. I guess the saying is you're only as good as your competition, right? So it makes you a better player, and it looks good for you too because you are competing quite well against these older players. And
Yeah, I
and
like to
skilled players.
like to compare myself to them because like we have a lot of older players in the team that are very good. So it's good to see them play and like learn about them. So yeah.
So, and how are you enjoying Meaford so far? They've got some pretty passionate fans there, and
Yeah, I love the fans. The fans are incredible. I love the town. Like it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. So yeah, I enjoy it right now.
someone mentioned that you had a tryout with a Quebec Major Junior Hockey League team. Is it-
Yeah, in Sherbrooke, Phoenix. Yeah.
Sherbrooke, and how was that experience? How did you enjoy that?
I mean, it's a good experience because there's a lot of good players that might play pro like in a couple of years. So it's hard, but like I think I'm at the end of the week I was better than I was at the beginning.
So is that something you'll go back? You'll try again next year, or?
I mean, we'll see. We gotta get the invite and all this stuff, but I would like it for sure.
So having a good year in GMHL this year would
Oh yeah,
help you a lot.
yeah.
So, and as I said, up against those older players, the 20 and 21-year-olds is going to help your game as well. So.
Oh yeah,
Plus, you've got a good coach. You've got some good coaches in Meaford too. That's going to help out quite a bit as well. So.
yeah. They help a lot. They help us a lot. So yeah.
Fantastic. All right, and you're having a great start to the season. You've got quite a few goals in the season. What are your stats right now? Sorry, I forgot to check.
I
that
don't
out.
remember, but
You don't know?
I don't.
That's
Yeah, I think over.
Oh, there they are.
Oh.
They're right there. The producer, Mark Perry, doing a fantastic job. Thanks for bailing me out, Mark. So you've got 4 goals and 8 assists for 12 points right now in 8 games. So that's pretty respectable, I would think.
Yeah, it's my first year junior, so I was a little bit stressed at the beginning of the year, but I start to be more confident. So
Absolutely. The games that, we've seen you twice now, and you definitely do not look out of place out there, and the coaches are giving you plenty of ice time from what I can see.
oh yeah,
Yeah, bouncing you around a little bit on the lines. Found in the second game there was hard to keep up. As a play-by-play announcer, you get used to, all right, that's the pairings, the 3 players that are coming out, but they were switching it up a bit, so making it a little difficult on me. I'm not whining, but
oh yeah,
but it's good to see, you get some time on the first line, and
oh yeah, and
Yeah.
like it's good to play with all the players in the team. So like in the playoff, if there's injuries or something like that, like we will be used to play with them. So
fantastic. All right, Julien Wilson, also from the province of Quebec. Nope, you turned 17. Goalkeeper, you got some action against Wyerton back a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was. And from what I saw, I didn't see the game. It was in Wyerton, but they had 13 shots on you. You stopped all 13. How was that for your first experience?
For sure, it was a confidence booster. I was really stressed going to my first game. Didn't really I practiced, but I wasn't sure what the level was like during a game. But I was lucky because my team really they were out strong and they were scoring goals left and right. So it really helped me get confident and me feel comfortable in my net and just do my job.
Absolutely, and I've noticed that, as you said, the Knights' defense, and they do a good job at keeping those shots coming from the outside as much as they can, but maybe not against Temiskaming, but we won't talk about that game. I talked about that last show. We won't talk about it this show.
Yeah.
So last year, where did you play? At what level?
I played in the minor hockey association back home in Rona, and yeah.
All right. Yeah, and how do you like Meaford so far in the junior experience?
I absolutely love it. It's everyone's so nice and everyone's helping each other out, and the main goal for everyone is to get better, and everyone wants to see everyone move on to somewhere greater, or especially win the cup this year, and that's great because everyone's got the morals high and the expectations are there, and just everyone's improving and playing their game.
I think this is, I've been associated with the team through Rogers. This will be the 3rd season for me, but this is the first year I think I've heard the league actually talking about the Knights and the depth that's on the team, and then really expecting big things from the Knights. And this division right now is, there's only 12 or 14 games in, but it's really tight in those top 5 or 6 positions. So. I think it's going to make for a really entertaining year. So, how do you feel about the 4 games and 4 nights? Brandon?
Oh, I mean, I think we have the players, like, we have a lot of players, like, in shape. We have a good shape. So, I mean, we're ready for this. We will, like, rest a lot this week and have a hard practice. So, I think we'll be ready for this. It's
That's
a good challenge, yeah.
A lot of bus, a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of time spent on the bus. So if everybody doesn't know each other by then, after these 4 games, you're never going to know each other then, right? So where else could we go with this? You know what? I think that's going to do it for us. And but I'm going to give you guys an opportunity in French. Say hello to your friends, your family, Brandon.
J'aimerais ça dire salut à mes grands-parents dans le coin de Saint-Jacques et dans le coin de Sherbrooke. Mon grand-père, toute ma famille sont venus en fin de semaine du coin de Sherbrooke, sauf mon grand-père qui a des problèmes de jambes des fois, qui je voudrais saluer. Je sais qu'il s'ennuie pas mal, puis je t'aime, puis je pense à toi.
I have no idea what you just said, but I'm sure it was all good.
It's very beautiful.
And Julien?
J'aimerais dire salut à toute ma famille, puis mes amis tout au Québec, là, puis merci pour me supporter, puis je vous aime tous. Là.
And you better not forget your billet mom.
Ah,
Huh?
and thank you, Jody.
Jody, and who do you billet with?
With Dog and Gabriel Slane.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
You want to say hello to them,
Oh,
or
yeah.
did you?
Yeah, thank you so much. I love them. They are so great for us. So, yeah, thank you.
I like to get the billets included here, each week on the show too, because I know the ones I talk to, they just love doing it. They love having the players staying at their places. So, and I guess they're your family for, the time that you're in Meaford. And guys, good luck the rest of the way this season, and I hope all your dreams come true. All right, and we'll see you at the rink this coming Thursday night against Seguin. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of Knights Talk. For producer Mark Perry, I'm Rob Leonard. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.